Hi, beautiful souls. Energy exchange is not just about money, it's about how consciously you live your life. And the moment you start to understand this, you will notice something. Your relationship changes, your abundance changes, and most importantly, your self respect changes. So, we have been conditioned to think that, energy exchange is only about paying money for something. But that's a very limited understanding. Energy exchange is happening all the time, in your actions, in your interactions, in what you take, in what you give back. And when this exchange becomes unconscious, it is creating imbalance, and not like always immediately, but energetically, emotionally, and even karmically. So I just want to share with you how I personally live from this. I don't live from, not from fear, but from awareness, I would say. Let's just say I don't eat for free at temples or bhandaras, because the energy exchange there is your punya, I believe your good karma. So I always offer something, either a donation or my service. I don't accept services for free, even if it's from friends, because every unreturned favor, it creates a subtle imbalance. So I either pay or, I support them back in some way. I don't, casually pluck leaves, flowers, fruits, or anything from nature for that matter. I pause, I acknowledge, I thank, and then I respect the life force behind it. Because, and also knowledge, I don't hold on to knowledge, because knowledge is meant to flow. The more it flows, the more it grows. And also, I'm very, very, very conscious of my personal space. Not everyone gets access to me, be it emotionally, physically, energetically, not from fear, but from the very awareness that every interaction carries a frequency. So now let's just talk about everyday life, because this is where most people unknowingly create imbalance. Like, we consume, but we don't acknowledge it. You watch, let's just say, since we're on YouTube, I'll give you all examples of YouTube and social media so it's easier to understand. So, you watch somebody's content on Instagram, let's say, and then you resonate with it. Um, you feel seen, sometimes you're just scrolling and then you come across a reel and that really touches you. You had a question in mind and then that has just answered you. You feel guided, but you don't even take a second to like it, share it, or even subscribe. Remember, that is also your energy exchange. Let's just say you go on YouTube, you watch somebody's video, you learn something about life, you learn a skill or a quick hack or anything for that matter. But you never engage, you never support them, you never give back in any form. Again, that's imbalance. Let's just say there are so many free meditations on YouTube, you sometimes feel heavy and then you just go do one of these meditations that come up to you. You receive the emotional healing, you feel lighter, but you don't even go acknowledge the source. And then you keep coming back for more. That is unconscious consumption. Or let's just say you are watching somebody's video and then you ask some deep personal questions in the comment section, and then you expect guidance and answers and someone to hold space for you. But when you're guided to go deeper through a one-on-one session, you step back, because somewhere you're still operating from, I want to receive, but I don't want to give back. And I want to say this with a lot of love. There are no quick fixes. Healing is something you can you can keep consuming for free, but without ever stepping into true exchange, it's never going to work for you. It's not something you can keep consuming for free. free content is only so much. The real transformation begins when you start investing on yourself. You get into true exchange. You value the person's time, your given inputs during your session. Because real transformation, my dear, requires real commitment. As an it's not like, just superficially you just go ask for advice and it works. It doesn't work like that. It requires your commitment, your time, your investment, your participation, not just consumption. Ki haan, just scroll, and whatever answer, let's quickly type in a question. If we get the answer for it, no, don't make your life so, you know, free and available that just a random advice would change your life. No, you are special. You require special attention. You require a curated recipe for your transformation. So work on that. And remember, energy, when energy flows in one direction, it eventually blocks. And that's when people say, I've been doing everything, but nothing is changing. Because you know why? The exchange was never complete. When you become conscious of your energy, your entire life becomes sacred. The way you eat, the way you receive, the way you give, the way you interact, everything just, becomes so intentional. And and that's when your abundance starts just flowing, not just financially, emotionally, energetically, spiritually. And my dear, that is real transformation. So if you want to truly experience abundance, start respecting energy, even in the smallest ways, because that is where everything begins. And if this message resonated with you, don't just consume it, acknowledge it, integrate it, start living it. This is Suchi signing off. Until next time. Bye bye.